And I have reason to believe that Raquel Thomas has way more sinister reasons for abruptly killing Malcolm Howard in front of Kanan during the finale of season 3. Raquel is way more calculating than that. And we know she would not have chosen to traumatize Kanan in that manner if she would have been able to avoid it. So the question is, why would she do that? And I've discovered clues that Howard had more secrets on Rock that she could not risk getting out. Secrets that only them two know. Or so we can think. In the event that Howard ended up behind bars. And these secrets include both Howard and maybe even Vernon Stark's involvement in the murder and or cover-up of DEF CON, and maybe even High Post as well. Stay with me as I make connections that you didn't even know was there. This video is going to be yet another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so y'all can get this fire every day. And since you know you love this content, you can support this channel by sending a donation to the Cash App JPeterson91 or blessing your brother with a super thanks right above the comment section in your phone. Thanks in advance. Now without further ado, let's get to it. Now people, let's break it down like this. Raquel Thomas has secrets. Raquel Thomas has a lot of secrets. And a lot of those secrets just died with Malcolm Howard. Because the reason Raquel had decided to seize the opportunity to kill him, right there at that moment, be deeper and more sinister than the obvious assumption. That she did it to save Marvin and the family. What y'all think? What always stuck with me was the conversation Rock and Howard had in the kitchen in episode 10. When Howard tells Rock he did a lot of bad things for Rock and Kanan. Malcolm Howard said that he caught bodies to protect himself and Rock and Kanan. Emphasis on the word bodies. But Burke is the only person that Howard killed in order to save himself, Rock and Kanan. This has to mean that before the Raising Kanan timeline began, Malcolm Howard was put in a position where he had to kill in order to protect himself and Raquel. And he wouldn't have been sure about the paternity of Kanan, but Rock still would have been his informant and eventual lover at the time. And in seasons 1, 2, and 3, we have been given multiple hints that Rock has been involved in the murder cover-up of both DEF CON and High Post. And it will be easier to conceal with the help of both Malcolm Howard and Vernon Stark, the brother of deceased Kingpin, DEF CON Stark. And each of these people's self-interest could easily explain why we are likely to find out that all three of these people conspired together to kill DEF CON and or cover up his death for various different reasons. And we can find out that High Post ended up being a pawn in the game as well, just by default and happening to love the wrong woman at the wrong time, or perhaps asking the wrong questions. Now, because the situation with Rock and Howard is more obvious to understand, let's first discuss Vernon Stark and why people need to focus more on that person. Now, in season 2, Kanan goes to meet Vernon to ask him about DEF CON. At the time, Kanan was already questioning his own paternity, but had the visit before he got the lab results. And when you observe the exchange between Uncle Vernon and Kanan, the man just seems like he had something to hide. And he asked Kanan if Rock said anything weird about him and DEF CON. He also seemed like a selfish person and a foolish person, as he asked his then 16-year-old nephew to put money on his books. And on top of that, how does this man not know his brother DEF CON was gay? He seems like a sneaky, selfish, money-hungry person. A lowlife. Wasn't he locked up for robbing old people coming out to check cash in place or something? This would be the same person you could pay to keep a secret. Like, for instance, if he found out his brother's daughter was sleeping with an undercover cop, or just cheating on his brother in the first place, Vernon Stark is the kind of person you can pay to lie to your son about his father when he comes to ask. The fact that Rock was okay with Vernon seeing Kanan and didn't try to block that is a clear indication that she has paid that man off to tell Kanan whatever she wants him to be told. Rock has went out of her way to make DEF CON's name relevant, but not his face or his family. Proof of this is the cafeteria scene with Davina and Kanan, where Kanan says how he never seen a good photo of his father. Now, why would Rock do that? To keep Kanan and other people from asking the wrong questions. People like Vernon Stark, who could be coming home at any moment, may even be one of the 13 freed inmates, because the show has still not giving us the full payoff for that plotline besides them giving us Ronnie. Vernon is the type of guy to come home and ask for more money from Rock in order to keep his silence. And when it comes to Rock and Howard, Rock could easily have used Howard to get DEF CON locked up and have him killed while he's locked up, as well as having him cover up for the murder of High Post as well. Could this result in Rock being the one to tell Kanan for the first time, you're not a real killer until you kill somebody you love? Let's look at this Rock, Howard, and DEF CON thing even more now. What if Rock set DEF CON up to be incarcerated as a way to help Howard gain a victory at work, but also to go up in the rank in the streets? With Rock being a woman, but allegedly pregnant with DEF CON's kid, this would keep both of them safe and allow Rock the opportunity to come up and bring her brothers up with her. Or just Lou if Marvin is already locked up at the time. And Rock would have to kill DEF CON if he found out he was betrayed by Rock, or if he found out or has the potential to find out that she is an informant. And through power universe logic and circumstances and obvious tropes, the threat of Howard being a cop, right, sleeping with an informant and getting exposed would be enough to motivate him to arrange to run into DEF CON while he's locked up, or use his influence to have something done to him. Plus, you can add the possibility of Rock throwing money around to get things done. And that goes the same for High Post. They said he was set on fire for telling, but who did he tell on? And who did that information come from? Why wasn't he just shot? Raquel could have learned all she could from him, and then kills him when he started asking too many questions about DEF CON, or got too close to figuring out that she is a rat. He could be the one to discover Rock is still sleeping with a cop. It could all be those things, plus she just wanted to finally take his spot and be a boss. After killing High Post, she could call in a favor to Malcolm, and Malcolm could take the case and say Post was killed because they thought he was telling. The streets are talking, he could say. And then he could also say he still has no leads, taking the heat off himself and Rock, and with the possibility of Malcolm going to jail for his involvement with the Thomas family. She couldn't risk him going in and spilling the beans about DEF CON's death and her history as an informant. Something is up. Kanan and Rock still have to have that talk, that inevitable talk, right, where circumstances force her to tell the total truth. Those circumstances could be Vernon coming home, a past lover of DEF CON, because there is a reason they made DEF CON gay for the show. It's not just to say it. A past associate of High Post or Malcolm Howard. At some point, this shit will hit the fan, and we will find out. Rock killed Howard, right? She killed Howard and did all that to protect those extra secrets that they shared together. And today, Famous death is revealed. He will be killed by Rock for being a loose end that ties her to Malcolm Howard as the feds zone in on her as being the leader of a criminal organization. We may even see her have Kanan do it. Famous is not a street guy, and therefore Rock would assume he is a rat. And that's before she finds out that Famous also seen Kanan's paternity results. Join me as I explain every detail you may have missed that reveal. The writers have been giving us clues toward this outcome since as early as season 2 of Raising Kanan. This video is going to be yet another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so y'all can get this fire every day. And since you know you love this channel, you can support this channel by sending a donation to the Cash App JPeterson91 or blessing your brother with a super thanks right above the comment section in your phone. Thanks in advance. Now without further ado, let's get to it. All right now, people, so let's break it down like this. The finale of Raising Kanan Season 3 was definitely one to remember. Unique aka Breeze made his return. Crystal is now pregnant. Ronnie is now dead. And Kanan had to watch his mother kill his father, Malcolm Howard, in cold blood. And we also seen Famous get arrested for killing Freddie. And his mother found his gun and took it to the police. Which, by the way, I correctly theorized this happening in the exact same way last December. And even though in that same video, I made an attempt to connect Famous to being Kanan's cellmate in OG Power Season 1, I still see 3 to 4 scenarios that are just as likely to happen that will result in Famous being brutally murdered. And in the death of Malcolm Howard, the biggest reason we could see Famous die by the hands of Raquel Thomas is being made aware, because he's a witness that could connect Raquel to Malcolm Howard. And the reason why I'm entertaining these possibilities is because currently where it all stands, if Famous stayed in jail and never came out, nothing major enough happens that would motivate Kanan to name his son after Famous. So there are only 2 ways that can happen now. Famous bails out, kills for Kanan, or takes a murder charge for Kanan, making it easier for Fame to be tried as an adult, thus leading him to be Kanan's cellmate years later. Or Famous makes bail, and either Raquel or Freddie's crew put Famous down, leaving Kanan to feel an immense amount of guilt, leading to him naming his son after Famous. However, the death of Malcolm Howard makes things look very bad for Famous either way. Because since Howard is dead, the feds now will focus on Rock and Lou if they have no real evidence on Marvin. And there are a whole lot of ways to connect Raquel to Malcolm Howard. Let's all remember Adina and Captain Burt still have all the evidence of Raquel being Howard's informant and baby mama, making it so she will have to get rid of those 2 people as well for sure. There are 2 very, very loose ends the Thomas family must clean up. And when you have Famous, who was just encouraged to point a finger at Malcolm Howard while under arrest, you can begin to see where this is going to go and how Rock will see that Famous is just another loose end. And let's add on to the fact that Famous will definitely be able to figure out Howard is Kanan's dad, since he already seen the paternity test results with Howard's initials on it. And he also was there in episode 1 of season 3, when Rock and Howard showed up together to talk to Kanan. Famous is foolish, but he is not a dummy. And he is also not a rat. And he has proven this already. Famous will never snitch on anyone. Otherwise, Kanan wouldn't have named his son after him. But that doesn't mean Rock will see things that way. To her, he's a young punk who is not a hustler, making him useless in her eyes. And when she finds out that Famous also is looking at the possibility of getting a record deal, she will think he will use this as an excuse to rat. But this is how this will go. Famous will endanger himself by connecting the dots with Howard and asking Kanan about it. Kanan will tell Famous the truth at some point and instruct Fame to keep his mouth closed. Kanan will be the one to bail Famous out as well, as we remember when he got arrested the last time. No one was able to bail him out. Kanan will be able to afford it this time. And somehow Rock will find out what Famous knows. And she will tell Kanan, "That's your friend. He gotta go." Kanan will, of course, refuse. This refusal can go two different ways. Rock will arrange for Freddie people to get Fame, or she will find a way to convince Kanan to do it himself by making him think Famous is snitching, only for him to find out later that Famous was never gonna switch up, leaving him to feel an immense amount of guilt, making him a real killer for killing someone he loved since he was 4 years old, changing Kanan's life forever. And today, I have figured out the beginning stage of what is Unique, aka Breeze's master plan for dominance of not only the South Side, but the entire New York City as well. I will give all of you reason to believe that Unique has started a long game that results in him finally being the king of the streets, and a large part of that plan involves Kanan, and Kanan will not see this coming until it's too late. He may not even find out until after he is provoked or swindled to kill his own mother. And along with that, I will explain what led Kanan to realize that he had to use Ghost and Tommy as pawns to remove Breeze off the chessboard and why he couldn't do it himself. This video is going to be yet another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so y'all can get this fire every day. And since you know you love this content, you can support this channel by sending a donation to the Cash App JPeterson91 or blessing your brother with a super thanks right above the comment section in your phones. Thanks in advance. Now without further ado, let's get to it. All right now people, so let's break it down like this. Let's place our bets now. What say you? Do you believe that Unique is Breeze yet? Are you still holding out for D-Wiz's brother to be that person? There's a lot of speculation going on the internet from many other different and great content creators. And shout out to Getting How I Live, Top Notch to Watch, Movie Bot, Mark Dark TV, Alejandro, and Rudy P Magic, as well as the others, for keeping us all invested in the Power Universe thus far. Now, before I reveal Unique, aka Breeze's master plan, trust me, you don't want to miss that. It may seem like a lot of us are joining the Unique is Breeze bandwagon, but for me, the moment Unique's body wasn't recovered, I knew something fishy was going on. And to the ones who like to comment and remind me how I said Ronnie was Breeze, my first bet was on D-Wiz's brother before anyone else. And these are the facts. And also, this ain't the NFL, niggas. And I ain't a loyal Cowboys fan. I'm building myself up as an investigative journalist with these videos. I will change my opinion as many times as I want if the evidence forces me to do so. And when I do theories, some of them are for the people who believe that theory. It's not always my personal opinion. Some of you slow people in the back need to be more open-minded and put your thinking caps on. And now here's the basis for my theory on Unique, aka Breeze's master plan, and why Kanan had Ghost and Tommy kill him. If we remember OG Power, there's a scene where Kanan tells Tariq something along the lines of, one of the best ways to defeat your enemy is to make them think they already won. Go back in time now to the finale of Raising Kanan Season 3, and Ronnie becomes the perfect example of that. And although I'm not yet sold on the theory that Unique was behind Kanan killing Ronnie, if he was, then it's just one extra lesson Unique as Breeze taught Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy. After realizing Tariq sold him out, I believe Kanan let Tariq live because he knew Tariq was just a boy, being manipulated by people who he loves, just like he was. And even if Breeze wasn't loved by Kanan, he still trusted Breeze at some point. And the reason why he decided to have Breeze killed was because he ended up discovering that he had been Unique's pawn ever since around the time the death of Ronnie, hurting him just as deep as his own mother did. To make it plain and simple for y'all today, after every loss Unique took, after every hard lesson he had to learn, from losing his war with Rock to losing it all again at the end of season 2, and then to having his brother attempt to kill him, Unique decided he has to do away with love and true loyalty and look out for number one. And after he gains Kanan's trust by reminding him that he saved his mother's life and telling him his mom did not try to kill him, that's all he would need to get Kanan to start letting his guard down. A similar and effective tactic that Kanan, as Slim, used with Tariq, because he learned it the hard way from Unique, aka Breeze himself. Unique wants it all, and he has to throw away a lot of his morals to do so, just like we've seen many other characters do in Power, especially Ghost rat ass. At some point, Unique realized he has to use Kanan to destroy Rock. Nothing personal, just business. He will be more successful at doing this than Ronnie was, and Ronnie is the person he got that idea from. Knowing the kind of person Rock is, and knowing the ambition Kanan has, it's inevitable they both bump heads again. And who will be there to offer Kanan advice and guidance? Unique, aka Breeze himself. We will see Unique become content with just knowing he's finally on top. He won't care about being flashy with it. Actually being the guy is better than dressing like you're the guy. Unique's master plan will be to use Kanan as the face behind his organization while he runs things in the shadows, and uses Kanan to go against his own family in his own little covert ways. And he knows that Rock will be competition, and Rock can only be destroyed easily, or you have your easiest chance of overcoming Rock, overtaking Rock from the inside by using Kanan. Just like Kanan did with Tariq against Ghost. And somehow, some way, Kanan will find out the truth. But unfortunately, it'll be too late. Maybe even after he's coerced into killing his own mom or one of his uncles. Even though I don't currently think he would do that, when you look at Kanan's life and death, one theme always persists. Kanan might be the biggest victim in OG Power, because during the course of his life, as we can see, Kanan is always getting screwed over by the people he cares about and suffers very harsh consequences for it, including Ghost's rat ass sending him to prison. And it's possible, by the time Kanan realized that he's been Breeze's pawn for years, he realizes that he no longer can kill him himself. Ghost and Tommy, mainly Ghost, who looked up to Breeze and said he was like a brother to him, they would probably consider Kanan to be disloyal and would probably go after him, not understanding what Breeze, aka Unique, originally put Kanan through before they even came into picture. And I'm going to explain exactly how Phil Russo will be the one sticking Stefano in his own furnace after he finds out not only that Stefano is a rat, but also that Stefano is the one who put the hit out on Sal Baselli. We're gonna find out that those two gentlemen were very close to each other, okay? And the person who will be able to expose Stefano will be Rock, as Stefano will have the pressure on him from Russo and the higher ups, which will cause him to be disloyal to Rock and maybe even set up Rock to be killed. And he will botch the job And Rock will find this out, and she will realize, I have to deal with Stefano as well as having to deal with the feds. And in the middle of all of this, I will also explain how Rock will end up giving up Marvin to the Mafia in exchange for them being off of her back and also leaving Jukebox and Kanan alone, as Rock will have to disappear by the end of season 4. Why? Because her secrets, as far as being an informant to Howard, will be exposed, as well as the Mafia will be on her ass. This video is going to be intricate. This video is going to be a doozy. This video is going to be legendary. It's going to be another banger. Subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, now, y'all, let's break it down like this. Phil Russo's existence already means Stefano will definitely die, as Stefano's introduction meant that Sal's death will inevitably come. And it came, and it happened. Before a main character dies in power, we already know, they always introduce the replacement right before. The only question at this point is, how and when will Stefano die? Now, even if Stefano wasn't a snitch early on in the season, he would still eventually get exposed for using Rock and Marvin to kill Sal Buscemi. And we already know that an unsanctioned murder of a made man in the Mafia is a violation punishable by death immediately. So let's take a look at how Phil Russo will come into play and how Stefano and Rock will be affected by it. Phil Russo is described as a no-nonsense man, and he will step to Stefano about not being able to eliminate the Thomas family for all the problems that they caused the Mafia over the previous 2-3 seasons. Russo will likely also have a cop on his payroll who will tell him that Marvin is the prime suspect in the death of Sal Buscemi, and may even know who Rock is too and demand her life to be taken as well. Stefano will be told the higher-ups will take his life very soon if he doesn't produce some accurate results. Stefano will feel the pressure, and he will know that he is basically screwed. He will have to find a way to set up Rock and Marvin to die, while also preventing them from exposing his faults to the Mafia. He will eventually botch the job in some kind of way. Rock will have an ally who tells her what Stefano is up to, as she will also likely have some suspicions as well as the possibility that Stefano is a rat and already sent the feds in her direction over the death of Howard with Marvin for the death of Sal as well. But them not dying puts Stefano in a losing position, because they can still expose him for putting the hit on Sal, right? So Stefano will still need a way to protect Rock and let her trust in him enough for him to be able to know where she and Marvin is at, so he can kill them both, so he can't be exposed, right? Thus, Rock will understand the severity of the situation, and she will decide there's only one way to possibly save her family from the Mafia, if she even has a chance to begin with. And that's by giving proof that Stefano is a rat, as well as proof that Stefano had them kill Sal. She will have to get close to Phil Russo in order to do that, right? Within that process, she will find out who Phil Russo is, and will find him in a public place and introduce herself. This is the crime underworld. It will not be difficult for her to find out who Stefano's higher-ups are or where they're at. It won't be difficult to do that. She will find Russo. She will admit who she is and how she met Sal and Stefano. She will admit that Marvin killed Sal. She will offer Stefano, saying she helped save all the higher-ups in the Mafia from a RICO case by proving to them that Stefano is in fact a rat. Russo will appreciate it, but here's the thing. He's a no-nonsense man, He knows that that's still not enough, and he will tell Rock that is not enough. Russo will want Marvin's life and for the Thomas family to leave the game and disappear. He's going to tell her there's no way you're going to get out of this without either you or Marvin's life being given up, if not both of y'all. He took the life of a made man. His life has to be taken, all right? But Rock will say, hey, but we got kids, blah, blah, blah. Russo will say, okay, Kanan and Jukebox, they will be left alone, okay? And then when you mention Lou, who's part of the Thomas family 3, right? Lou will likely be fine because he is out of the game already and won't be a problem, okay? He'll just be a drunk. And as long as he's not snitching, there's no reason for anyone to do anything to him. Rock will understand that had she given up Marvin back when Sal told her to, that they wouldn't be in a position they are in now. Now, if you remember, a few seasons back, Marvin wanted to kill Tony Deep, so he had Sal's son come and help him. Sal's son ends up dying. This is something that Rock was not aware of. And truth is, she was supposed to give Marvin up. She chose not to, probably because she already gave Marvin up to go to jail back in the day, and she didn't want to do it again, right? But with the feds after them anyways, and Rock's secrets as an informant being exposed to the streets, and I'm going to do a video about how her secrets will be exposed to the streets, right, in the future. Rock will absolutely have to leave New York City anyways. So Rock will agree to Russo's deal so that she can finally leave the game and possibly go find Symphony. She'll be retired from the game without having to hide from the Mafia, making the feds her only worry. And y'all better believe by the end of the season, if Rock disappears, she will have a plan. The question is Rock the first ghost, right? Is Rock the first ghost? Or is Rock actually the first person, right, who faked her death, right? So now let's take a look at the couple different scenarios that can and will come from Rock deciding to give up Marvin and betray Marvin, all right? It's possible, right? Marvin finds out Rock put him in jail back in the day. Only for him, and by the way, this would happen about halfway through the season, right? This is like an episode 4 or 5 thing, right? Only for him to forgive Rock by the end of the season and still get set up by Rock, okay? This could lead to Jukebox trying to kill Rock before she disappears. How she finds Rock? By following Kanan, because Rock would want to see Kanan before she left. With Jukebox possibly catching her first body with the gun her father gave her and having to get rid of it, she would try to use a knife on Rock, with Kanan getting in the way and getting the scar on his neck. While Kanan's bleeding, he would tell Rock to still leave and that he is okay. Jukebox will come back to her senses, she'll help Kanan, and then out of her guilt and out of her grief of losing Nicole, losing Marvin, right? Seeing the betrayal of Marvin, realizing that she almost killed Kanan, she will then leave and go to the army. And this is why Kanan will forgive Jukebox, and they will still deal with each other and love each other up until the point where he kills her over Tariq. It's because, yo, I know this is my mother's fault. We was born into this. We already know that Jukebox has enough awareness to understand that it's not Kanan's fault of whatever happened between Rock and Marvin and how it affects her. She knows that. Now, scenario 2, the Mafia takes both Rock and Marvin. Okay? Scenario 3, Rock leaves ahead of Marvin, intending to betray Marvin, but then feels guilty and gives Marvin a clue that the Mafia is on his head, okay? Marvin escapes the feds, but runs into the Mafia, dies in the shootout. He will have said bye to Jukebox earlier that day, but will make things even more tragic for Jukebox and will justify how dark she becomes in the future as if Marvin never gets to say bye, right? And like I said, this could all happen with Lou maybe surviving into the next season as well as the series. There's not much time. I do not believe we will get to the end of season 4 and Rock and Marvin are not going to be like either locked up, running away from the feds, somebody dies or something. I'm going to explain to you guys all of Rock's secrets that will be exposed during season 4 of Raising Kanan. And not only that, I will explain exactly who will be exposing which secrets. Now, if you've been paying attention, then you know Raquel has secrets that stand to be exposed by the streets alone. And then she has secrets that will be exposed as the feds are going into finding out her connection to Howard. And this is a real deep connection. And then once we do that, I will explain why she will have no choice but to disappear, or she will have to be killed, or she will have to go to prison by the end of the season. Season 4 of Raising Kanan is most likely the final season that we will see Raquel be a recurring character, if she's not dead by the end of season 4. This video is going to be another banger. Like, share, comment, subscribe beforehand. Without further ado, let's get to it, right? All Rock's secrets to be exposed by the end of season 4. First, let's talk about how Rock's secrets will be exposed and who will expose them. Off top, we gotta have the feds, Snaps and Pop, and then sidebar, whatever secret little informants that we do not know about yet, okay? In regards to Pop and her relation to Snap, well, we know her relation to Snaps, but as far as Pop and how she gains information, she's already a character who has her ears to the streets. She is shown to know many secrets, right? She also seen the Thomas family grow up, as we are reminded by that scene where she says, I remember when you were just a little girl, Raquel, right? Double dutching in front of the house, right? And I believe that she probably already suspects that Defcon was gay, if not knows for sure. Maybe even knows a former lover of Defcon, okay? Now, I also stated during last season that I believe Ronnie was gay, but also had OCD and also had autism. What do y'all think? We in the hood. We talking about the 90s. We talking about a black man, mid-20s, early 30s. He comes home. He had no girlfriend. Before he went to prison, he had no girls. But he was one of the biggest drug dealers in the hood and he just had no women. Now, y'all must understand that anybody who had the hood and had drugs, he was the man, which means he had the women. So the fact that both Defcon and Ronnie did not have no women, and then you got Defcon who in a way passed the hood down to people like High Post and then it ended up in Ronnie's hands, we will likely find out that High Post, Ronnie, Unique, they were all under Defcon, all right? They all were under Defcon. Now, if Panessa knows Rock set up High Post, then High Post and Rock had already been a topic of discussion in the hood in certain circles, which means that Snaps and Pop already are privy to that information. We have to suspect that Snaps and Pop already don't believe Kanan is the son of Defcon. But that does not mean that they know Howard will be his father, right? And once this comes out, that is already enough for people to want to kill Rock, and her name will be finished in the streets. I mean, done. Done. You was an informant, that's gonna come out. So you was an informant and Howard is your baby father. If that comes out as well, we're gonna have Rock. She will want to kill Snaps and Pop and anyone who is privy to that information. Anyone, right? Then you see that we will see Captain Burke come back into the story as well. Now, Captain Burke, who is Burke's father, right? Him and Burke's girl will help the feds connect Rock and Howard to Burke's death, with the motive for Howard killing Burke will be due to Howard trying to save Rock and Kanan, with Kanan being his son and Rock being assumed to be his longtime lover and informant. That's what they're going to assume. And they're going to say, yo, Howard and Rock, they've been getting money together for years. She was helping him be his informant. She ended up getting pregnant in the mix, all right? We'll also find out about other arrests by Howard that will come out as aided by Rock back in the day, including DEFCON. We may even also find out that D-Wiz's brother got sent to jail because of Howard through Rock. Maybe Rock seen D-Wiz's brother as someone who was on the come up and he would have been a threat, okay? He would have been a threat. Now, with Howard dead, they will find a way to put the death on either Marvin, Rock, or Kanan. So we have to pay attention to what happens with both the guns that were used to kill Howard and Ronnie. I watched the end of season 3 times. Raquel leaves with the murder weapon that killed Howard, and that's what happened, okay? We need to know what's going to happen with that gun, right? But we have to find out if there were any extra people besides Unique who knows Rock and Kanan were present during the deaths of Howard and Ronnie. But with Unique there, it's likely Stefano knows, because narratively speaking, it makes no sense for anyone else to have saved Unique and help Unique gain, or rather help Unique heal during the 2 to 3 months that Unique was gone in between the fight with Ronnie and the end of season 3, okay? We will find out, another secret of Rock's that will come out. We will find out Rock set up Marvin to go to prison back in the day so she could take over the family business. This information will absolutely destroy the Thomas family. Marvin will definitely be upset, and he will likely be at odds with Rock, right? He will think that maybe he wants to kill Rock, but he's likely to forgive Rock because he is a family man, and also they will need to try to work with each other in order to avoid the feds and the Mafia, okay? Now, somebody in the feds will intentionally get the information about Rock being Howard's informant out. Who that person is anybody's guess. Rock will be forced out of New York City by her tarnished name in Queens. People will want to get even with her over high post and DEFCON. And heat with the Mafia on top of that will force her to have to officially retire and stay retired. We're going to talk about Rock, we're going to talk about Unique, we're going to talk about B-Rilla and his potential to be D-Wiz's brother. As we discuss Rock blaming Unique for the death of D-Wiz, and the reason being Unique killed D-Wiz over the death of Buck 20. And if B-Rilla is D-Wiz's older brother, then that means B-Rilla kills Unique and Rock gets away with orchestrating the hit on D-Wiz. Let's talk about how this would happen, all of the details involved, why Rock would choose to do this. This video is going to be another banger. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, now, y'all. So, when you go back to the teaser for Raising Kanan Season 4, we already know that there's somebody with a cocktail. They threw it at the Chinese shop in which Unique had before his assumed untimely death by the hands of Ronnie Myers, aka Ronnie Mathis. Now, of course, we know that after Unique was presumed dead, Raquel went to the owner of this Chinese store. She did a business deal with him. She did a business deal with the people who moved the food around and the Chinese products. We also know that she went to Quan and fulfilled the vacant position that Unique left in the streets by way of his business with Quan. We know this. Therefore, when you see someone throwing a cocktail at the business that Rock now owns that Unique had first, one could only assume that it's either Unique or someone doing it who is connected to Unique. Maybe it's Kanan, who knows, right? But either way, it has something to do with Unique. Now, before we get to Be-Rilla, I also want to say that before the teaser was dropped, I assumed that we would see less of Unique. And what I mean by that is that the main characters would see less of Unique. Unique will be moving in a way to where you're not going to know it's him. And after seeing a teaser, it seems like he's going to be doing some of that. But for whatever reason, his ego will not allow him to completely go unknown by his assumed adversaries, which of course would be the likes of Rock and anyone else who's doing business in the south side of Jamaica, Queens, right? And it seems that there is a scene in which Unique himself reintroduces himself to Raquel Thomas. Now, maybe it isn't, maybe it is, but one thing is safe to say, we know that Unique will be running amok. He's going to be robbing people. He's going to be destroying things. He is going to be a different kind of person. And as we all know, Joey Badass says, the Unique that we knew is not the same Unique anymore, right? So here lies why Rock would choose to have Unique killed by Be-Rilla, okay? Rock will not be able to snitch on Be-Rilla. She will not be able to pay anyone to go after Unique. I mean, Rock won't be able to snitch on Unique, and she won't be able to pay anyone to go after Unique for the simple fact that Unique is presumed dead, even though the body was never recovered. There are no cops that she's going to be able to get to look into where Unique is, who possibly saved him, and the 117th precinct, they've been messing up so much. Plus, they'll be dealing with the death of Ronnie, the death of Howard, and all the controversy that's going to come from that. They're not going to take any of their time to try to find Unique, because even if they found Unique, they wouldn't even want to make it public, because that's just another fuck up for the 117th precinct. Therefore, Rock is not going to have a lot of allies, especially once she finds out that Unique and Kanan are running around together. She's going to want to get Unique out of the picture, but at the same time, keep Kanan safe. And anyone who she went to in regards to Unique, if they even took her serious and believed that Unique was around, right? They would essentially, as gangsters, say, we coming for the whole team. And another thing that's going to make Raquel want to get rid of Unique, which will lead her in the direction of using Be-Rilla to kill him, is the fact that nobody's going to know Unique is orchestrating these things. Therefore, Kanan and Be-Rilla will be the more visible people, but chances are, for whatever reason, people are going to be looking at Kanan as the main person organizing all of these thefts and everything that is getting all the other gangsters upset in the Southside Queens. So Rock is going to be like, Kanan working with the ops, at the same time, he my son. I got to protect him, right? He has other ops who don't know that he's simply, for the most part, just taking directions from Unique. It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a clusterfuck. Here lies Be-Rilla. Once it's known that Be-Rilla is D-Wiz's older brother, right? Rock notices how B-Rilla is dealing with Lou. She gonna talk to Lou. She gonna be like, hey, listen, Unique is at it again. We have no way of proving it's him. He revealed himself to me. I know it's him. Or maybe she overheard Kanan talking about it to somebody, right? She's gonna be like, we gotta get him off the map. You're dealing with his brother. He's on our side already. It'd be easy for us to get him to flip on Unique. This, of course, comes after Unique, Kanan, and B-Rilla become part of the most dangerous stick-up crew in Southside Jamaica, Queens, okay? Rock is gonna say, how do I kill two birds with one stone? How do I destroy this alliance that Kanan has with Unique, at the same time remove Unique off the chessboard, right? And then out of all of it, right, we may even have Kanan, who in a moment of vulnerability tells Unique that it was his mom, or rather it was Lou who killed D-Wiz. If they get that, cool, right? And it would be stupid, but probably expected of Unique to reintroduce himself to Rock and then say, hey, listen, I'm doing business with Kanan, stay out of our way. Or I'm going to tell B-Rilla that you had D-Wiz killed. Then for Rock to go to B-Rilla, or have Lou go to B-Rilla, and they gain a step ahead of Unique, and have B-Rilla told that it was actually Unique who killed D-Wiz himself, or had D-Wiz killed in response to the death of Buck 20, right? This will then have B-Rilla rock Unique to sleep for a while until he has the perfect opportunity to kill Unique himself. Now, this only works at the unfortunate reveal that instead of Unique being Breeze, B-Rilla is Breeze. I'm still holding out for Unique being Breeze. I feel like story-wise, and I'm going to keep saying it, this would be some of the best storytelling we have ever seen in any dramatic IP. Whether it's black dramatic crime dramas, whether it's white dramatic crime dramas, I'm talking about high-level writing. And we're going to talk about Breeze's introduction, and how and why Breeze's introduction will definitely equal Rock's downfall, even if they never meet. And what I mean by that is, even if they don't meet, the mere presence of Breeze and introduction of Breeze into the series, into the cast, into the show, means that Rock's days are numbered. Because we should all know by now that the official Raising Kanan series ends when Raquel leaves the picture. Now this video is going to be another banger. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, let's get to it. Now, people, let's break it down like this. And you can come up with your own conclusions by the end of the video and let me know what you think in the comment section. Breeze's introduction equals Rock's downfall, even if they never meet, for reason number one. Every main character gets a replacement either right before or after they are gone from the show. For instance, every plug in Power history. Another instance, technically Diamond replaced Ghost as far as being Tommy's counterpart within Force, right? Even though he didn't take Ghost's place as an exact character, he took the place of Ghost as far as that person, that main person that Tommy has to build with, his foil, the person who he has to work with, etc., right? Breeze will definitely replace Rock as that character as far as who has the most influence on Kanan. Even when we get to OG Power, we even see that someone like Jukebox still has some kind of influence over Kanan. So when it comes to Breeze, and those of us who speculate that it's Kanan who initially wanted Breeze gone and found a way for Ghost and Tommy to take care of it for him, he would have had to have a significant influence over Kanan first. And then Kanan would have to realize, I don't want this person's influence over me anymore. He's in my way. I have to remove him from the chessboard. Okay? Now, reason number 2 why Breeze's introduction equals Rock's downfall, even if they never meet. Once Breeze enters or re-enters Kanan's life, and we say re-enter if he's someone who Kanan already knew, like for instance, if he's D-Wiz's brother or something, right? But once Breeze enters or re-enters Kanan's life, things will happen that will bring them closer together. Now, we know this is going to happen because we know from the little bit of detail and information that we got from OG Power, right, that it was Breeze, it was Kanan. Kanan and Breeze were close. Somehow along the way, Ghost and Tommy come into the picture. They get closer to Kanan around 96, 97, while the guys are heading out of high school. Kanan finally introduces the boys to Breeze, okay? Different scenarios will happen in between that time that will bring them closer together within a brotherhood. Even if the shit hits the fan later on within the series between Kanan and Breeze, because we can expect that there will be some friction. Especially when it'll be Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy probably on the front lines the most. They have the closest relationship. It'll be Kanan first, who looks at Breeze like, yo, you not even out here in the field with us like that. We putting in more work than you. We more in tune with what's going on to the streets, right? We got our pulse on what's going on in the streets, right? We will likely see conflict between Kanan and Breeze first, before there's conflict between Ghost, Tommy, and Breeze or something like that, right? And now moving on to reason number 3, why Breeze's introduction equals Rock's downfall, even if they never meet. Whoever Breeze is will likely be someone who sees Rock's influence on Kanan and may find it beneficial to him to find a way to separate Kanan from his mother. Now, we have already begun to see people like Snaps and Pop, people like Ronnie, Myers, Mathis. These are individuals who they know the influence that Rock has over Kanan, and they have made it their business to see the potential in Kanan and still want to use him, even if it's for their benefit, and they're simply just viewing Kanan as a means to an end. And we also know the kind of person that Rock is, and we also know the kind of mothers that we have within the Power universe, which is for every mom in the cast of Power of every series, at least once they have made it possible to have someone killed and removed off the chessboard in order to separate that person from their son. First example we've seen of this, right? First example we've seen of this. Matter of fact, I was going to say the first example that we've seen of this was when Kanan was set up to be killed between Tasha and Tariq. But even before that, we seen Holly at least almost be removed from the chessboard because Kay Egan did not want Tommy dealing with Shorty. And then after that, we got, of course, Tariq Kanan, Tasha, that situation. And when you go to Power Book 2 Ghost, you got, of course, the unaliving of Professor Milgram by way of Monet Ta'ada. And now we got Rock, who literally was gangster enough to threaten Snaps and Pop to their face with as far as dealing with Kanan. Okay? We know that these mothers do not play about their children, right? So whoever Breeze is, he will see Rock's influence, and by that point, he may already have found out that Rock killed Snaps and Pop for dealing with Kanan, right? Or she may have had something to do with Ronnie Mathis being killed from dealing with Kanan. These things will happen before Breeze enters the picture. So he will have to devise a way to stay off of Rock's radar, but still get Kanan under his influence and his guidance. Reason number 4, why Breeze's introduction equals Rock's downfall, even if they meet. And by the way, all of these examples explain why, one way or another, right, Rock and Kanan will be separated. One way or another, right, Rock and Kanan's relationship will be altered. But reason number 4, by the time Breeze gets very close to Kanan, chances are Lou and Marvin will already be gone for whatever reason. I firmly feel like Rock will be the last Thomas family member standing, right? At that same time, Jukebox will be at military school. Rock will be the only person left to remove from the chessboard before the end of the series and the beginning of the Power Origins series. I also theorize that by the end of season 4, beginning of season 5, Jukebox will have caught her first body and she will officially leave for military school. She will leave and she will not return until the beginning or like season 2 of Power Origins, when Kanan, Ghost, Tommy, and Breeze are already like doing their thing, or right before Breeze meets Tommy, Ghost, and them, right? But Rock will be the only person left to remove from the chessboard. Things are gonna happen. We also know the police are gonna be on her tail. Symphony might pop back up and take her to North Carolina. Either way, Breeze's mere introduction into the series will mean Rock's downfall or her removal from the series is already underway, okay? Reason number 5 of why Breeze's introduction will mean the downfall of Rock, even if they never meet. But this one is more direct. Breeze may actually be the one to kill Rock. I know a lot of people think that Kanan is going to kill his own mom. That's not going to happen. What reason would Kanan even have an OG power to fake like he's going to visit his mother's grave or something like that if he killed his own mother? Why would he do that and make a mockery of it all? Why would he do that? This is not a Tariq going to talk to his assumed dead, but maybe not even dead father in season 1 of Ghost. He just, like, Kanan's just not that kind of person. Not saying Rock is definitely going to die, but if she does, narratively, what would be dope is if Breeze is the one who kills Rock and Kane doesn't find out about it until very, very later on when Ghost and Tommy are involved, and then he finds out and then he gas Ghost and Tommy to take care of Breeze. That'd be pretty dope. And this right here are all of Raquel Thomas's enemies and potential enemies that she will inevitably have to deal with in season 4. Some of these are obvious. A lot of these are way less obvious, and best believe all of these people will have to be killed. We're talking about a lot of people, some from the past, some from the future, without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so number one, we got Stefano. Now, even though it hasn't been confirmed yet, I'm telling you right now, Stefano is a rat, okay? Which automatically makes him an op, okay? He's a rat and potentially the person who saved Unique, okay? And he is cool with Snaps and Pop. We know that already, right? To the point where Snap said, hey, listen, we can influence Stefano over you, Rock. And also, we know you, Rock. We watch you grow up, Rock, right? They seem very, very serious. And when you're talking about someone in the Mafia, if they wasn't serious about what they were saying, they wouldn't have said what they were saying when they said what they were saying when they said it, right? So that makes Stefano a very, very, very dangerous enemy. And it will come out that Stefano is a rat. And it will come out that he turns his back on Raquel, right? That's number one. Let's talk about number two, right? As a collective, Snaps and Pop. Now, they currently are already enemies or was about to be real big enemies. Raquel is going to be livid when she finds out that Kanan joined in with Snaps and Pop to orchestrate that kidnapping. And they pulled a fast one on her, okay? She's going to be livid. That's already enough to kill him. But on top of that, they have connections to people like Stefano, other people who could cause problems for Rock. Also, they have this network, right? I already said Pop is like the Varys of raising Kanan, right? Where we're going to find out that she knows a whole lot of secrets, including the fact that Defcon was gay, okay? It's very likely that she already knows. And that's her trump card. And she keeping the ace up her sleeve for the future when she feels like it needs to be said, right? And she may even know something to do with Howard and Kanan's connection, right? But we're going to leave that at that. Moving on to number three, right? The hallucination of Howard. I very much believe that we're going to see our first hallucinations within the Raising Kanan timeline. And this is going to be not only Unique hallucinating about Ronnie, potentially Kanan hallucinating about Ronnie, but for sure, Rock in her darkest moments, her most vulnerable moments to herself alone, we're going to see Howard pop up. We're going to see that. And Howard always been Rock op. Soon as you had a chance to kill him, what she did, she pushed his wig back, way back, further than Tyra Banks' hairline, right? Right? That's number three. Number four, we got Unique. Unique, aka Breeze. Why? For the simple fact that he's in a very, very, very great position, even though he has nothing. And he wants everything that was taken from him. And, simply put, Rock is in the way. He definitely will still have love for Rock, right? Which is why, he gonna find a reason to still have love for Kanan. But he's gonna fuck over Rock, okay? He's gonna fuck over Rock. We already seen what happened to the Chinese store. You better believe Kanan has something to do with that, or Unique has something to do with that. These are facts. Moving on to number five, we got Phil Russo and the New Jersey Mafia. I believe that going into season 5, the New Jersey Mafia will not be a factor. But for season 4, the Mafia will become an even bigger factor and even more dangerous than they have been already. Phil Russo's not playing about Sal Buscemi, and he gonna put the pressure on Stefano as well, which leads to Stefano becoming Rock's enemy. I believe he's gonna be very formidable, but at the same time, he'll come in strong, and Rock will be able to make a truce, right? But that is only if she finds out that Stefano is a rat. That will equal enough for Phil Russo to be like, okay, you saving our whole organization, right? Stefano is a rat. Okay, you saved us. I'm going to leave y'all alone. But this could come with stipulations like, we don't want y'all to step foot in New Jersey again. And maybe even what do Italians call black folk? Y'all Moolies and Mulianos, y'all gotta leave New York City as well. We might see that as well, right? Or at least for Marvin. Marvin gotta leave, or we're gonna kill everyone. Still, right? Stefano's not enough. That type of situation. Number 6, we got inherited beef for Rock. And that's Early Tyler. If Kanan becomes his enemy through working with Unique, right? Getting It How I Live, he was the person who first said, what is Unique's first move? Upon returning back into the game, and he said robbing Early Tyler. I want to add on to that by saying Kanan could be involved in that. And when it comes out that Kanan has something to do with that, Early Tyler is a respected person in the streets. He's going to have connections, people who rock with him, people who are going to jump out the window for him. Rock is not letting nothing happen to her baby boy. It's not happening, right? She's going to get involved in that. Even after Kanan says, Mom, mind your business, she's not going to listen. Moving on to number 7, we got Captain Burke and we got Adina. Going into the end of last season, these are the people who need to be killed the most, right? People who have the potential to know about DEFCON or Howard's connection to Rock and Kanan. Right now, Captain Burke and Adina, they got all the cards in their hands. They know absolutely everything, right? Because Officer Burke, before she got killed, she did good police work. They know absolutely everything, right? Rock will have to kill these people very, very, very quickly, right? And what's crazy is she does not even know currently that they even have all of this information. They do not know. They don't know. So it would have to take someone on the inside or someone who is interrogated by people who are investigating Rock in order for Rock to even find out in the first place, right? She'll have to kill them directly or have them killed. There is no threatening them, making them go away. There is no pain to make them go away. They got to get killed, right? That's number 7. Number 8, this is a wild card, okay? We got the Jamaicans who jumped Lou. If the Jamaicans come back for Lou, both Marvin and Rock are going to get involved. Within an episode, they're going to pack the Jamaicans up. The Jamaicans are fodder for real. Like, they not even a real threat. They got bigger fish to fry. They going to pack the Jamaicans up. Y'all hear the sound I'm making with my hands? Y'all know what hands sign signal I'm making. They getting them niggas out of there. Moving on to number 9. All of the cops. Tanner, all of them. He counts for the feds. Then we talking about the sergeant of 117th precinct. All them niggas. They're ops. They police. They investigating everything. They ought to be paid off to shut up or dealt with. I also want to say, I believe that the head boss of the 117th precinct, he seems like somebody who could be paid off to make shit go away. So let's look out for that, right? Going in at number 10, right? These last 2 are some of the most crucial things of people who gotta be killed, right? Rock's biggest ops and potential enemies, right? At 10, we got any potential former lover of DEFCON. Gotta go. Got to go. Has to go. Gotta go. Gotta go, right? This is gonna happen. They not done telling us about DEFCON. Rock has a lot of hell to deal with in season 4. And coming in at number 11, this is probably another wild card, but it's also very, very possible. We got Vernon Stark, okay? Because ain't no way he didn't know DEFCON was gay. Come on now. He's in denial, just like Unique is in denial about his big brother, right? Come on, Vernon Stark. You knew DEFCON was gay.